Right, so hello, welcome back to the channel. Who's actually going to win the Premier League this year? Because it's so insanely close, and the fact that there's 3 teams who could possibly win it, it just makes it that much more exciting. And the fact of the matter is, we haven't seen a 3-team title race in quite some time in the Premier League, and the fact that Man City, the treble winners, won it 3 times in a row. Liverpool are so strong, but they've got their injuries. Arsenal, they are looking to sort of dominate when Man City and Liverpool leave. It's all very interesting storylines. Are they ready? Are the old guard finished? Who knows at this moment in time? But before we get into that, I'm just going to quickly say a massive thank you for the recent support on the channel. I mean, we've got over 370 subs, which is absolutely wild. If we could get 400 as soon as possible, that would be greatly appreciated. So if you could share this video around, leave it a like, that would be great. But let's get back into it. Now, I mentioned at the beginning there that we haven't seen a 3-team title race in quite some time in the Premier League. Now, the last one was actually exactly a decade ago during the 13-14 season, when you saw Chelsea, Liverpool and Manchester City all in a 3-team title race. That title race, it also went down to the final day of the season, which is great to see. And when you think about some of the recent title races within the past decade, none of them have probably been as exciting. Yes, of course, Leicester winning it was brilliant and exciting, but in terms of a title race, they kind of ran away with it, and at the end of the season, they just sort of fluttered out. It was fine, they did their job, they got it over the line. Then you also look at the likes of the Liverpool-Man City rivalry in quotation marks. It's very one-sided, with Man City winning the majority of it. The only time Liverpool won was that COVID season, and they won that by a country mile. I know it's been on the last day of the season before, but you just always thought Man City are just going to go away and win with it, and you definitely thought that with this one as well. But at the exact same time, it was just great to see 3 teams who could have won it, basically. And I mean, the top position, it changed 25 different times that season. That is absolutely mental. Chelsea were kind of top, and I'm pretty sure they were like 11 points clear by February. Liverpool were top, they were 5 points clear, 3 games to go. We all know what happened there. Man City come in, they win it. That's what a title race is about, the chops and changes, not one team being there and then getting over the line. It's back and forth, it's a race, and we haven't seen that in a long time in the Premier League. At the end of the day, City won that league, and they won on 86 points, Liverpool 84, and Chelsea on 82. So it wasn't as close at the end, but 4 points from first to third, that is a big difference. And every game at the end of that season, especially with Liverpool, I mean, you think of the likes of Liverpool versus Man City, where they beat them at Anfield, then Liverpool lost to Chelsea at Anfield 3-all against Istanbul. It was just box office stuff, and we've not had that in, well, a decade. And after Arsenal got a point away at the Etihad, I mean, the Opta stats have finally put Liverpool as the title favourites, as they are currently sitting at the top of the Premier League. They've got 48% to Man City's 34%, and Arsenal's 18% as chance to win that. And it's so tight and tough to call that, yeah, I think Opta, they're just guessing anyway as well. Now, there is a fair few factors about who's going to win the league, and there's still a fair bit to go. Now, when you look at the teams, they're also all in different competitions still, with Arsenal and Man City still being in the Champions League, Liverpool still being in the Europa League, and Man City still being in the FA Cup. Now, when you look at Arsenal and Man City in the Champions League, they could actually face each other in the semi-finals if Arsenal get past Bayern Munich and Manchester City get past Real Madrid, which it could happen. That is the tough side of the draw. Liverpool, if I was them, I would forget about the Europa League. I mean, yeah, it's great and all, and if you can win it, that's a bonus, but put all your eggs in the Premier League basket, because yeah, you've won one in 30 odd years, but you didn't have any fans about. It was during the COVID season, and it doesn't feel the same. It's still a title, it's very much still a title, but just winning it and having that roar and the elation off the Anfield crowd, that is surely a lot better than, yeah, we won it, but no one was really there. Then you also look at the FA Cup. Look, Man City are probably going to win the FA Cup, and I don't think they've got a field a very strong squad to do so. Manchester United, Coventry and Chelsea, not the toughest of games for a team like Manchester City, but again, I wouldn't actually focus on that too much. Again, if you get it, a bonus. If not, who cares, really? And for Man City, it's weird for them because they've almost got to prioritise both the Premier League and the Champions League. Champions League, something they've worked for absolutely ages, finally got over the line last year, and can they retain it? I mean, only one club has basically won it back-to-back, and they won it back-to-back-to-back, and that was Real Madrid, since it became the Champions League format and not the European Cup format. So to do that would be historic, but to win 4 Premier Leagues is something that has never been done. So again, another piece of history to chase for that. For Arsenal, I mean, never won the Champions League. Never ever won the Champions League, but not won the Premier League in 20 years, which is absolutely unbelievable if you're an Arsenal fan. So which one do you prioritise? Do you think you could get past Bayern, then Real Madrid or Man City, and then face the likes of Barcelona, PSG, Atletico or Dortmund in the final? Who knows? If they get to the final, they got a really good chance, but it's going to be tough. And for them, you just got to go all out and try and get both, which is easier said than done, but they're the only team I think probably shouldn't prioritise. I guess City with the Champions League, it's tough. Now, just focusing on Arsenal, they don't really have any injuries. I know Saka limped off against Man City. He's fine, he's always fine. He usually limps off afterwards, but he's good. The only real injury they've got is Timber, who isn't quite back yet, and he's been out all season. They've not really got any injuries. Their squad is fresh. Now, when looking at the games they've got to go, they've got some tough games in there. Now, out of their remaining games, they've probably got 5 tough games. Now, they've got Villa and Chelsea at home. I know what you're saying, oh, Chelsea's not a tough game. Chelsea are so weird right now that they could be a tough game. They might not be, but I'm pretty sure they are a very tough game. Then you've also got the likes of Brighton, Manchester United and Tottenham all away from home. And that's a tough ask to get maximum points, where we saw last season that against the likes of Southampton, against the likes of West Ham, they didn't get maximum points when they really should have. And hopefully, by adding the players like Declan Rice, they've got more experience in the squad. Saliba's going to be fit, and they've got a good chance, but I still think they're probably going to finish third. Now, Manchester City, they've got Walker, Ake and Ederson out. It's still up in the air when they're going to be back. John Stones might be fit for the clash against Aston Villa, but again, I wouldn't risk him against Aston Villa. You've got a £200 million defence. Without him, I'm sure you could get through them. But again, like Arsenal, they've got some tough fixtures, but out of the other teams, they've got the easier fixtures off the lot, because they've got Villa at home, but then they also go and face Brighton away and Tottenham away. The only other tough game I can really see is West Ham at home, but again, I don't see that being an issue. Also, one argument that I always hate is they've got the easier run-in. That's not... Everyone faces everyone twice, home and away. The run-in shouldn't really matter. I mean, if you're going to win the league and you think, oh, well, they're too close, they've got some easier games in there, you should have got some more points and you should be further ahead in the table. If you do think like that and you worry, everyone's got to face everyone, I always think it's a really weak excuse. But I see with Man City being occupied with the Champions League as well, I think they're going to finish second, which by process of elimination means I think Liverpool are going to win the league. Now, I said that ages ago. I didn't say it when Opta said, oh, they're the favourites. I also think it's too close to call, and you could call any one of them the favourites. But the only worry for Liverpool and Klopp's swan song is the squad fitness. and they do have some tough games as well. You can put Liverpool's injury list almost against anyone. I guess Newcastle are the only team that have got them beat for injuries. You've got your first choice goalkeeper in Alisson, first choice left back in Robertson, first choice right back in Trent Alexander-Arnold, Joe Matip, who it's debatable between him and Konate, Jones, who has been superb for this Liverpool team this season, in the middle of the field, Jota up top, Thiago has been missing pretty much all year, he's the second best midfielder behind Kevin De Bruyne when fully fit. Then you've also got the likes of Ben Doak missing, so it's a who's who of injuries for them. And Liverpool, their tough games, the majority of them are all away from home, and those ones away from home, Manchester United, Everton, West Ham and Aston Villa, and then they've also got to face Tottenham at Anfield, who will be looking for revenge after last year's 4-3 game with Jota scoring late on after Richarlison scored late on. So they've got tough games. I know people are going to say Man United away and Everton away, they're not brilliant. Everton haven't won in 13, Man United are so inconsistent. They're tough games because the rivalries and derbies, and they're going to really up their stakes, because if there's any two clubs that do not want Liverpool to win the league, it's Man United and it's Everton. So yeah, they're going to raise their game, especially being at Old Trafford and Goodison Park. Villa have got to play all three of these teams, so they might actually drop out of the top four depending on results, but they could have a big say on this title race. But for Liverpool, as long as they don't get any more injuries, as long as they could just continue their wonderful home form, nick a few away results, but also probably just forget about the Europa League. Again, I know it's nice, get another trophy for Klopp, but look, you've won the League Cup. The Premier League is the trophy that all Liverpool fans want. That's the one to aim for Klopp's swan song. So yeah, we finally have an exciting title race for the first time in a decade, and I don't know who's going to win it. I'm just guessing Liverpool, but let me know who you guys think in the comments below. Do you think Arsenal are going to win their first one in 20 years? City will make history, win 4 in a row? Or Liverpool will win their first one in over 30 years with a crowd in Klopp's final season? Please let me know. I'd love to know in the comments below. If you could like, share, subscribe, it helps the channel out immensely. Thank you so much for watching, and yeah, cheers.